Hey everybody, Kevin here, back with you for episode 7 of Songs and Stories from Camp Cronin. Glad you're here. Good to be with you, good to connect with you. This is the best we can do for the moment. It's a tough time we're living through. Let's face it. You know, we all got to do the best we can. Take care of ourselves, take care of those around us. Best thing I can do is play some music and share some stories with you. So that's what Songs and Stories from Camp Cronin is all about. Now today, we have a special guest lined up, coming in from Orlando, Florida, through the magic of the internet. My good friend, Mr. Bruce Hall. He'll be telling some stories, singing a song. I'm really looking forward to it. But before we get to Bruce, we're gonna get back to the You Can Tune a Piano But You Can't Tune a Fish record. During my time away from REO, I was playing as a solo artist, and I had a gig up in Rockford, Illinois, home of our good friends Cheap Trick. And I pulled off the road, saw a trailhead, and hiked into the forest. And just made me start thinking about the journey that I'd been through during the couple years I was away from REO Speedwagon. Everything I learned and how thankful I was to be back in the band and kind of back on the right path. So somewhere during that hike, man, I came up with the idea that really I was, in fact, blazing my own trail again. And I wrote this song. Sooner or later, you will find a way to feel like sunshine, even on a cloudy day. To feel like morning in the dead of night. Sooner or later, it's gonna be alright. But don't be thinking your life's a mess. Rather stop thinking in terms of a happiness, and it's gonna happen. Just decide where you're going. Get out in the open and start blazing your own trail again. It takes time sometimes to figure out that there's nothing worth worrying about, and that there's plenty to be thankful for. It takes time sometimes to know the score. Everybody's got a smile inside, so put it upon your face and wear it with pride. And it's gonna happen. Just decide where you're going. Get out in the open and stop blazing your own trail again. Time to stop blazing your own trail again. Blazing your own trail again. Wow, yeah. All these songs, man, they're all a trip, especially after not having played and sung them in such a long time. Feels good. Feels real good. So you know, with Roll with the Changes, Time for Me to Fly, Blazin', Say You Love Me or Say Good Night, Sing to Me, we had a bunch of material that we felt pretty strongly about. It was great that Epic Records allowed Gary and I to produce the record so we could control the sound. But perhaps the most important change that happened for the band on that You Can Tune a Piano But You Can't Tune a Fish record was that it was the first studio album that young Bruce Hall made with the band. And man, I'd known Bruce since the early 70s, saw him singing with his band at the old Red Lion, which was the coolest bar in Champaign, Illinois. Bruce used to get up there and sing lead on this rockin' tune called Back on the Road Again. Man, I always loved that song. And, you know, I'd met Bruce at a party at Alan Gratzer's apartment. He just started singing some harmonies with me on Beatles songs. And our voices sounded pretty good together, and I got a good vibe from Bruce right away. And so when Greg Philbin left the band, it was a no-brainer for me, man. The first phone call went to Bruce, and I think it might have been Gary who made the call, because he and Gary had actually played in a band together called Feather Train before Gary had joined REO Speedwagon. So there was some history there. It was just a natural for Bruce to join the band. Plus, he pretty much knew all of our songs because he'd heard us play at the Red Lion so many times. So he just fell right in. It was so natural. So, without further ado, from Orlando, Florida, via outer space somehow, I'm going to introduce to you my good friend, a longtime bass guitar player for REO Speedwagon, Mr. Bruce Hall. Now, Bruce, if you would, tell us a little bit about Back on the Road, how you wrote it, why you wrote it, where you wrote it.
Hi, everybody. Actually, I started that song, it came to me very fast. I wrote the whole thing in about 15 minutes when I was about 17 years old. It was a different kind of a song then. It was more of a blues song. Please don't hate me, Mama. Anyway, it was totally different. And I did it in one band I remember, with the One-Eyed Jacks, and then I put it away for a while. I didn't play Back on the Road again in any of the other bands I was in for a while. But when I got into REO Speedwagon, one of the first things Gary Richrath said is, "Where's that song Back on the Road Again?" I said, "Well, I haven't played that one in a long time. You sure that's an REO song?" He says, "We'll make it an REO song." And we did that. And so that's the version you guys have heard. This version I'm going to play for you is a version I kind of came up with around the house, just playing my guitar. And the lyrics, they're about meeting somebody. Back then, in 17 years old, I was only traveling from town to town. I wasn't going state to state like I am now with REO Speedwagon. And I was chasing the girls and I was having a good old time. So I wrote this song about maybe I'll see you next time that I'm back in town. And that's kind of where Back on the Road came from. Anyway, here we go. This is the version I came up with at home. And I think the lyrics are better this way because you can hear them and they're a little more tender and a little bit more meaningful, I guess. Here we go. Please don't hate me, Mama, for what I'm about to do. But the good times we've had together are just about not through. Please don't misunderstand me, baby. I'd hate to see you cry, but I think that it might be better if I told you now goodbye. Back on the road again, it's time that I leave you now. Maybe I'll see you next time I'm around. Till then I hope you're happy, baby, and good times come your way. Back on the road again. Bye-bye, baby. Well, I've loved you since the day I met you, and I love you till the day I die. But we both know the life I'm living, know the reason why, that I've got to leave you, mama, and I've got to leave today. But to know that I'll see you next time that I come to play. Back on the road again, it's time that I leave you now. Maybe I'll see you next time I'm around. Until then, I hope you're happy, baby, and good times come your way. Back on the road again, I'm on my way. Back on the road again. Bye-bye, baby.
All right, well, that was awesome, Brewster. Man, I love it when songwriters take a song that they've recorded one way. And of course, the REO version of Back on the Road Again is rocking. It's one of the highlights of our live show. But man, hearing Bruce just strip it down and, sing it to you in that soulful, tender way that he just did, man, there's something really special about that. And that's why I like doing this. That's one of the cool things about songs and stories, is that you get to hear the story behind the song. You get to hear maybe a little different version of the song than you're used to hearing, and it, lets you feel the song in a new way. So thank you very much, Bruce. That was awesome. And I'm going to be calling on you for later episodes. So, don't spend too much time at the golf course out there in Florida. But anyway, so that's it for episode 7 of Songs and Stories from Camp Cronin. But tune in this coming Saturday. Once again, streaming live will be Holly Picks, where my daughter Holly takes over. You can send in your questions. We got so many great responses. We had Holly had so many questions. She couldn't possibly get to all of them. But don't give up. Send some questions in this week. They can be tough ones because Holly gets to pick them. And, I think she's trying to stump me. I think this week's going to be a little more difficult. Last Saturday, there was some softballs in there, but I think Holly's going to be, making Dad work a little harder on Saturday. But I love it. I love being able to share a little bit of my family with you guys. And so anyway, this coming Saturday, noon Pacific, 2 Central, 3 Eastern, and of course 1 o'clock Mountain Time. Perhaps my favorite time zone, man, up there in Colorado. But yeah, so Saturday, Holly Picks. We'll see you then. Thank you very much. Hang in there. Do your thing. According to the rules, things are going to get better, I promise. See you Saturday.